Welcome to Caregivers and Community Connection. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. We're on each and every Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on Comcast Cable, Channel 96. I got a nice guest in the studio with me and new to our city, been here around 7 months or so, serving Christ and taking care of God's shepherd. And I want to introduce her to you this morning, Miss Christiana, Pastor Christiana Felix. Welcome to Chattanooga.
Thank you so very much, Sharon.
Oh, where is that accent coming from?
Originally, I'm from Nigeria, West Africa.
Wow. I mean, you're a long way from home. About what, 19 hours?
About 20 hours.
Well, that's a long flight.
Yeah.
I just been to Hawaii. This is further as I went, and that was 8 hours. And I thought I was gonna die. So I don't know how you made it over here. Was it an easy flight?
It was for me, that was the first time of traveling a very long distance away from my family. So it was a little bit bumpy, and I haven't experienced anything like that, but I will say it was one of the best, trip that I ever took.
Wow. I'm glad it was 19 hours, 20 hours was good for you. But being in America and being a pastor here in our states, how is it different than being in Nigeria?
It is a little bit different. In Nigeria, when I was there, we are very passionate about Christianity. And we all know that Christianity in Africa is not like Christianity in America. Right? They are very passionate about, their religion. And of course, the culture also plays a very important role. But the difference here in America is that, for me, it's a little bit different. You don't experience that culture. It's just the Western culture that you see. So that's a little bit different. But in all of it, it's still the same root of, Christianity as a religion.
That's great. It's good to know that it is some difference. I see some things, but getting an opportunity and a chance to talk to someone from Nigeria is great for me. I want you to tell the community a little something about you and your travels.
Okay. Like I've already said, my name is Christiana, and I'm from a royal family in Africa called Nwaokpobong family, and that might be a little bit too difficult for some people to pronounce, but it's been a kind of a experience for me as one coming all the way from a foreign country and experiencing another culture. But at the same time, I've been able to learn a lot about, being here as a pastor from a different culture and also experiencing Christianity in America. I grew up in Africa, like I said, received the Lord Jesus Christ at the age of 9 and got baptized and was called into the ministry when I was 16 years old. And I've always been in the ministry. I love being in the ministry. And my walk with God has always been very encouraging. My purpose in life, like I tell people, is that God has given me gifts. He's blessed me with talents and potential. And my motto is to be able to use those talents and wisdom and gifts that God has given me to invest in other people and to help them discover their destiny as well.
Wow. I received a phone call from a friend of mine from childhood, Dale, who is a member of your church. And she said, my pastor want to meet you. And I talked with you over the phone, and we began to develop a relationship immediately. And one of the things was because of one of your ministries, as well as one of your degrees that you have in psychology, to help people to understand about self-help.
Yes.
When I go into the bookstore or into the library, I see books called self-help books. And these books are to help you help yourself. And you begin to connect with me because I'm talking constantly about caregivers and what they need to do to receive some self-help. And, coming to be a part or to partner or to do things with me in a subject, in an area that you're well knowledgeable in helping other families. Because sometimes we need that pastor
Yes.
to be the person to tell a family member it's okay to get a break. So tell us a little something about what you would tell a loved one who was burnt out. You knew they were burnt out.
Oh, yeah.
You met them at the church. And I know a lot of our AME churches and our CME churches have a lot of senior citizens in them. And I know my grandmother was in the Methodist church, and it was a lot of elderly people that was there. And they listen to what people say in the churches. So how would you use the knowledge that you have in order to help others to receive things such as self-help?
Thank you so very much, Sharon. One of the things in my ministry that I really appreciate a lot is discovering people's gift. And just like Sharon has mentioned, that we have a lot of seniors, and as a clinical psychologist that I've worked in the hospital, I've worked with families in the facilities, and one of the things that I've noticed is that most of these family members do not have what it takes to actually take care of their loved ones. And it's so good that we have facilities like Sharon, Senior Center, that I believe that they're doing an awesome job to be able to have people that are gifted, people that are trained professionally in this area to be able to take care of their loved ones. And one of the things I do normally, advise caregivers, that I would say it is on a 4 level, which I call the 4 simple principle of self-care. And number 1, you have to be aware of the need that you're giving to people. Be aware that, as you're giving a need to somebody, there comes a time that you yourself, you're going to go through some challenges. Not every one of us have that ability to be able to take care of our loved one. So being aware of the challenges that you go through will empower you, will help you to realize that there is a need for your loved one to be taken care of, maybe by a facility. And another thing that I often tell people, take the time to kind of debrief, because when you give a care to someone, there is every tendency that you yourself, you're going to also need some self-care. So you need to take the time to kind of debrief and ask yourself, what are the challenges that I am going through in taking care of my loved one? And another thing that I often tell people is take the time to review the challenges that you're going through and be able to talk about it and to be able to, share with people. As a pastor, I often see people walk into my office, who are taking care of their loved ones. And one of the things they said, I'm about to burn out. I'm tired and I just don't know what to do. And one of the things I always let them know is, if you don't have the skills to take care of your loved one, maybe it is time for you to let go and let somebody who is gifted in that area, somebody who is a professional that can actually take care of your loved one. And that might be, having your loved one go to a senior home where they can take care of them effectively.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. And it came from a pastor, because a lot of times I tell families, they be saying, they're not going to go if I tell them. But if their pastor or their doctor tell them, a lot of times they will. Can you explain that?
One of the things we must understand is that it's very difficult to let go of the things we love. I'd like to say that again. It is very difficult to let go of the things that we love. It is good to take care of your loved one. If I have a mother, I want to take care of my mother. Or if I have a father, I want to take care of my father. But the most important thing is for you to realize that it comes a time that, we have to just, be truthful to ourselves, just be truthful and say, what? I think I've come to that road where I can no longer, give the best of care to my loved one. And I know it's very difficult, and sometimes people don't want to do that. But being true to yourself and being aware, like I said, when I started my conversation, I said awareness is the key. being aware of what your loved one needs. And I think most of the time we run into the problem of people, family member try to decide for their loved one what their loved one need, and that might not be the case. As a professional working in this capacity, I've seen a lot of family member struggle with that. And sometimes I ask them, what will your loved one want?
I thought about that when they had a lot of conversation about the ventilator. Keeping someone, prolonging a life that's brain dead.
Yeah.
We seen that on the news several weeks ago. It's because they didn't want to do what you said, let go. So I'd rather keep my family member in a vegetated state than to let go. I guess that would be hard to do.
Yes, it is. Like I said, when you care for somebody you love, letting go is very difficult, and it has to do with, there's a lot of things involved in that. There is the fear of what is going to happen to me. So there is a psychological, issue around that. But the most important thing, is to, again, be true to yourself and say, what will my loved one actually want? That is the key. And I think, Sharon, what we need to educate our people out there is to let them know when your loved one is still alive and they're still able to speak for themselves, ask them, what do they want? Because what you think your loved one may want might not be it.
Right.
And if you have a loved one who is, on life support, which we call life sustaining measure, you might be thinking that, she wants or he wants to be there. And for her, she just wants to be at peace, just, make that transition very peacefully, because there's no need keeping them in that life sustaining measure. You are just punishing the body. I'm not a medical doctor to let you know about that, but I've seen that in my professional a lot, that at the end of the day, you always end up fighting the wish of the patient.
And with that being said, I want the community to think about it, and we're going to come back and help them out with a few ways that they can do better by releasing. So we'll be right back with Caregivers Connection.
For Sharon Kelly, her mission, too strong. For the rose is now in full bloom.
Welcome back to Caregivers and Community Connection. I know you all are enjoying the show with Pastor Felix this morning from Phillips Temple, CME Church, right here in our city. Been here for about 7 months, and I'm already loving her because she's deep and she understands a lot of things that family members need to know but don't want to take advantage or don't prepare for. That's another thing. Don't prepare for in regards to doing a will. I think a lot of times, especially in the African American community, if we already had a will done, which is our wishes, then we wouldn't have to worry about staying on a ventilator or someone doing things that we really didn't want, because we're satisfying your need, but not our need. Now, one of the things that I see that happen a lot taking care of seniors is that the caregiver die before the actual person that they're caring for. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Yes, Sharon, it's so true of what you say that sometimes we take care of the caregivers, take care of their loved ones, and in the process they burn out. And the reason why they become sick in the process is because they give out so much that they neglect their home self-care, for not taking the time to really take care of themselves. Because to be honest with you, taking care of someone is a hard work.
It is.
And I go back again to say, I'm not saying that you cannot take care of your loved one. I'm not saying you cannot take care of your husband, your children, your mother or your father, or whatsoever that is in your care for you to take care of it. The key is being aware of the care that you're giving. When you're giving a care to someone, you have to understand in the process, you yourself, you are neglecting yourself. And in that process, you might end up being burnt out, in order giving care to the loved one that you are giving care to. So it is imperative that as you give care to someone, pay attention to your own self-care, because that will enable you to be able to give the care that your loved one needed.
You know, a lot of times I go around and speak at different churches and events, and I speak on the sandwich generation. And because we are the ones that's still dealing with our parents, as well as our children, we're stuck in the middle, and we're pulled to the left and we're pulled to the right, and we never take time for self. So, I try to encourage people to take a break. Oh, I gotta go take my child to the baseball game, or I gotta take mama to the doctor. And the next thing you know that they're ill themselves on multiple medications because of that. And the only thing it would have took is somebody to tell them it's okay. You need a break. But like I said, they have a tendency not to pay attention to anybody but their physician and their pastor. And they don't listen to other people until it's too late. So I'm glad that you're here and willing to utilize your knowledge in your vessel. And I looked at something else you said, in your faith, to encourage people to get self-help and to take care of you and work with families in this community to get them to do just that. Because a lot of times if I'm coming to them, they'll say, oh, she's just trying to make money. It's any excuse, even though they know that's not true. I've been doing it for 17 years, and I've been nursing for 30. It's just the caring heart that you have and that I have and the passion that we have for people.
Yes, the key is the passion. Yeah.
You have to have it in this business. I keep telling myself, one day I'm going to get a hold of Tyler Perry, because I'm going to have the best player for seniors, because, man, you got to have a strong feeling and a heart to deal with it, because sometimes they don't know, and they can be somewhat, misleading and ugly and say nasty things, but you got to look past that. And it takes a real person to be able to do that.
Sharon, it's so good that you mentioned that. I've not known you for a very long time. I think this is my first time of sitting down with you and talking with you, but I've talked to you on the phone. Not only that, before I spoke to you on the phone, I've moved around the city and I've seen what you are doing. I've gone to your facility and I've seen, the care that you're, those you put in place, in that facility, give to the older people. But the key is having the passion. And when I talk to you, I hear passion. Because if you don't have passion, you cannot take care of anybody. It's not about making the money. Of course, everybody goes into business to make money. Nobody wants to just sit down or open a business and not make a money, but that is not the key. The key is having the passion. The key is knowing that this is what I was born to do. This is what I was created by God to do, and I must fulfill that purpose. And when I talk to you, that's what I hear, not about the business aspect of it. And I believe and I pray and I hope that our people will get on board with this and realize that there comes a time in your life that you cannot do everything. The good thing about it is that God has put people in place, and we have resources within the community, and Rose of Sharon is one of it, that people can, equip themselves about it, educate themselves about it. How can I get the best care for my loved one?
I had a lady that's been with me for 5 years, and, they wanted to put her in a nursing home. I said, but this is her home. I said, she can still feed herself. We can assist her in dressing. Yes, she is deteriorating, but why don't we call hospice in and let her have a quality of life right here at home? Because Rosa Sharon is a home. And you know what? Everything got put on hold, and today she is still there on the hospice, being taken care of by us. It's not that we wanted her to go anywhere, but sometimes you got doctors that come through and say, but I just spoke up and said, this is her home. Why can't she stay? I mean, hospice can come in, but she needs to stay here. Rosa Sharon, she won't last long if you take her away from us. Not right now. We all she got.
Yes.
And she has dementia, so we all she know. Because a demented person don't remember stuff that happened 5 minutes ago, but they definitely gonna remember stuff that happened 5 years ago. And she's been right there with us.
Yeah.
And I thank God that they listened to me and my staff, and they kept her there. And you know, sometimes we have a different road that we think we want to take, but God has another road for us to take.
Yes.
And so I said I was going to retire at 48. I'm past 48, but you know, but still, I got to do what God say do.
Yes.
And that's to take care of those who once took care of me. I've been saying that passion for at least 13 years on the radio.
Because that's your giftedness. That's your calling.
Yeah, and I love it. I love my people. I love my singers, and they know I do. And I know, even if they don't see me every day, when I walk through the door, it's like mother hen. You know, they begin to tell on people. They begin to do all that, and it be so cute to me. I feel so good because I feel like mother hen for real.
That's good.
But I thank you for taking the time out of your busy day
Thank you.
to go and check on those singers. They need that continuity of care where they see a variety of faces that they trust, and they know that they're there for them. So I'm hoping that after today, family members who are caring for people that's veterans could possibly qualify for the Choices program, but never ask. They listen to what everybody say on the street. They're going to take your house. They're going to take your car. Instead of asking people that's in place that can give you the correct answers, we asked all the wrong people and don't get the service that we need. So, I mean, I have compassion for what you do, what you want to do, and what you're doing for Christ. Because that's the only thing that will truly last.
Yes.
None of this other stuff.
Yes, you're so right, Sister Sharon. It's only what we do for Christ that will last. And we at Phillips Temple CMA Church, located at 1321 Nutmore Road, our mission statement is, you know, to help people experience God and to love people. And if we are living each day and we're not touching the lives of people, we're not making a change in our community, then being a Christian is in vain. Because what God has called us to do is to touch the lives of people, give people the right tools, not just being a Christian, but give them the right information where they can live a life that is fulfilled. Not just give them the Bible, because anybody can pick up the Bible and, you know, read or study, but the Christianity of today is reaching people where they are. And we at Phillips Temple, we are doing that, and that is why we take the time to go to Rose of Sharon Daycare to minister to those elderly people, not just me alone, with my officers and members in the church. So Sharon, I think the world today needs people like that. They can say, you know what, connect with, you know, a company like your own company, connect with people like you that can make a difference in the community.
You know what, Pastor, with you saying that, before we end, that this is Black History Month.
Yeah.
And we've been dealing with this dream for 44 years that Dr. Martin Luther King said. But we haven't connected with each other. That's all he said, do. Go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Yeah.
And that's what you and I are doing today. We're connecting, and we're making a difference.
Yes, yes.
And I want to thank you for coming to this city.
Thank you so
and
very
reaching
much.
out and making a change.
Yes.
And so I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. And when we bring families together for counseling, you do conferences, workshops, and the whole deal. We'll do a workshop together. And we'll bring caregivers together, and you will speak.
Amen. Thank you
Okay.
so very much.
You're more than
And thank you for
welcome.
giving me the time to come and be with you.
Thank you so much. And
Thank you
thank
so
you
very much.
this Saturday morning for coming in. Have a great one and a blessed one.
God bless you too.